What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Cynthia Cooper-Dyke. She is a WNBA legend. She has been in coaching for quite some time after her playing career. She is being accused by former female basketball players that she had coached of her abusive behavior. And some of the highlights of the things that she has said to these females, she talked about how one was stressed and they needed some D. And she talked about how, I guess they were doing squats or whatnot, that one of the chicks had a big old butt and she bet she can ride some D. I mean, that's some of the stuff she's been accused of saying. Now, I know that us as men have locker room humor. I am pretty sure that women have locker room humor as well, but that could also be seen as harassment. That could be seen as you harassing a woman physically. And I'm looking over this, and she had recently, I believe, left her job and she had retired, I believe, and now this is coming out. She has moved around, coaches move around, but that doesn't mean this isn't true. But listen, I don't if there's any female athletes that are listening to this, maybe you can tell me, okay? Do women have that type of locker room humor? But I mean, it's different, I guess, when you're a player. But when you're a coach and you're just telling your players stuff like that, that might be out. That might be stuff that you shouldn't be saying, because there are going to be women that are uncomfortable. We all know, what we heard about female basketball players and whatnot and what they're into. But as a coach, you can't be engaging in certain behaviors because that can get you caught up. And what happened was she left her job before all this came out, which is very interesting timing. So let's get into this article from the Bleacher Report. He says, before her retirement from coaching in March, Texas Southern women's basketball coach Cynthia Cooper-Dyke was accused of demeaning and abusive behavior by multiple players, according to Chanel Jenkins and Dana McO'Neill of The Atlantic. A Title IX investigation eventually prevented Cooper-Dyke from having any in-person contact or forms of communication with players during the second half of the 2021-2022 season outside of practices or games, in an order that extended to assistant coaches Carlos Wilson, Atala McKinney. I think that's how you pronounce the name. So something was going on for there to be a Title IX investigation, which is probably why she ended up leaving her job after this season. University Students Conduct Coordinator Dunshia S. Warmack first informed the team of the non-contact order on January 20th. On January 20th, on March 17th, the school announced Cooper-Dyke's retirement following 3 seasons from the team. The allegations feature the coach using overt sexual language with her players in ways that many found to be inappropriate, demeaning, and degrading, per The Athletic. Listen, the only reason why it seems like she retired is because she wanted to get ahead of this investigation, and she knew what was going to happen. She knew what was going to happen, and she wanted to get as far away from it. The school wanted her to get away from it so they don't have any issues. Again, I know that us as men have our locker room talk, but I don't think I've ever been in a situation where coaches are using overtly sexual language towards players. There'll be situations where you got coaches that are curse out a player, but the fact she's using this language lets you know that, she might be a bit of a freak outside of the workplace, You know what I'm saying? And what I'm going to read you next would probably add to that, because she has D on the mind 24/7, even though her last name is Dyke. When told about one player suffering depression, Cooper-Dyke reportedly responded, "No, she will be all right. She just needs some dick. That's all." Oh, but there's more. There's more. Former players describe similar encounters at previous coaching stops at UNC Wilmington and USC. So she just going around making these types of comments to these chicks, man. This is a woman who demeaned us, who talked to us like we were not human. Former USC player, Deja Southall, said, she made me hate basketball and no one did anything to stop her. That was because, you know, she's Cynthia Cooper. Who's going to tell Cynthia Cooper that she needs to calm down, that she should not be saying these things? You have these young women who went to these schools to be coached, to be prepped for life outside of basketball, because a lot of them aren't going to make it to the WNBA or play basketball beyond college. And when people are in these positions of power, they tend to abuse it. And it seems like she did that by making these women uncomfortable. Now, I don't know what she's into outside of basketball, but it's very clear to me that, you know, when she saw these, you know, you may have some attractive young ladies in that locker room, you know, that other side of her must have come out. You know, that side that's thinking about dick, and she's seeing these young girls, and that's what that side of her comes out. Some people have sides of themselves that nobody sees. They see the WNBA legend. They see somebody that is respected in female basketball circles. She's getting these coaching jobs at these big schools. USC is a big school. And, you know, she feels like she can say and do whatever. And there are people who are going to back her up, and they know that. Unfortunately. That's why I feel like she kept on this behavior, because nobody was going to say anything to her. You see, people don't hold women accountable in our society. When you try to hold them accountable, you're going to be the bad guy. It seems to me that nobody held her accountable for her behavior, and she took advantage of that. She took advantage of that. And these girls did not have it. No one would help them. According to them, nobody would help them. This woman mentally and emotionally terrorized us, another former USC player said in a statement via text message to The Atlantic. Cooper-Dyke wrote, "Throughout my years as a coach, I've had countless interactions with players in my role as their coach, mentor, and friend. I had positive relationships with the majority of the players and staff, and my only intention was to maximize players' potential and help them be the best, help them be their best. While these allegations are untrue, everyone deserves to work, play, and learn in a respectful environment, and I deeply apologize for and regret any words used during the course of a spirited game or practice that offended or hurt somebody." If it's untrue, then what are you apologizing for? If what these young ladies are saying, but they're probably not, they're probably in their late 20s probably, or in their early mid 20s. If what these ladies are saying is untrue, Cynthia, what are you apologizing for? I'm not going to apologize for something I didn't say. And you're a coach. You're supposed to know your temperament. You're supposed to know how to turn things up and, you know, turn it back down. You would remember you making those type of comments, because the thing about us as humans, when we make certain comments towards certain people, let's say we talk about a woman's hair, how beautiful she looks with her hairstyle, right? Or maybe we see a person and what they're wearing, and we're like, we connect what we say to them to how we identify them. So if I identify you as that, let's say I identify you as that light-skinned chick, or I identify you as that tall chick, and I make a comment or a joke about, you know, how tall she is, right? I'm going to identify the things I said to her by, so what I'm getting at, okay, is that when we say things to people, we usually can, when somebody brings up something, we can easily remember that comment and who we said it to. I'm that type of person. I don't know if any of y'all are that type of person. So if I make a comment about a chick having a big old butt, right? And You know, and the first thing that comes to mind is how she can ride some D. I'm gonna remember that. Big old assets. The first thing that comes to mind is how good she can ride the D. I mean, that's what Cynthia Cooper did. That's the first thing that came to mind. She's at practice thinking about D. It's probably why she didn't have so many coaching stops, because she's thinking about the wrong things. Cooper-Dyke was named to the WNBA's list of its greatest ever players 2021 as part of celebrations for its 25th anniversary. The 59-year-old won 4 NBA titles, earning Finals MVP each season, and was named WNBA MVP twice in her career. She also won 2 NCAA championships at USC. She began her coaching career with the Phoenix Mercury in 2001-2002 before spending 14 seasons at the NCAA level. So that's about 14 years of her doing what she had been doing. And I don't think these young ladies are lying on her. I don't think they're lying on her. I mean, she's already out of coaching. So what else would they need to bring this up for, just to inform people of what is going on with her and let people know, like, listen, this is the stuff she said to us. Y'all gotta understand, it ain't just the men that's gonna be put out there and demeaned for their coach, and not demeaned, but called out for their coaching styles. Women as well. I don't think women are immune to that at all. So let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next.